want to thank you all for being here. This is important. I think the most important thing that we can do in government is protect our children. Today we send a very loud message to every sexual predator and to every person who participates in child pornography. We will not tolerate this type of activity. I cannot think of a more despicable action and more harmful crime than that predators go after children. We are committed to make sure that someone who has deliberately and strategically planned to win a child's trust, that it be stopped. Then they will violate that trust that they get from a young person in the most heinous way possible. We will do everything, absolutely everything in our power to protect Florida's children. There is no higher calling. Today we are announcing the results of a statewide operation which focused on some of Florida's most egregious child pornographers. Since mid-March, Florida's law enforcement agencies have been conducting Operation Orange Tree. It involved 23 separate law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal, resulting in 77 arrests. On the wall you can see actually 76 of them, because the 77th arrest was made this morning in Leon County. The Polk County Sheriff's Office alone arrested 45 of these individuals, and more arrests are expected shortly. Most importantly, 5 of Florida's precious children were rescued out of this despicable activity. We will make every effort to give those children the support and protection that they need and deserve, to overcome the horrors that they have experienced. And I applaud the work of the brave law enforcement officers who have made Operation Orange Tree such an incredible success, who saved these young people from further abuse. Cybercrime, as we know, is an incredible crime. You can see every place in Florida where someone accesses child pornography. Every parent and every Floridian must be aware of the dangers, and I applaud Attorney General Bill McCollulm for expanding the Child Predator Cybercrime Unit. I had the opportunity to launch that unit in August of 2005 as Attorney General. When I became governor in 2007, there were 10 child predator crime fighters. Today, under the leadership of Attorney General McCollum, there are 30 that are fighting this crime. Clearly, Operation Orange Tree proves that we are diligently fighting the battle to stop sex offenders. It is a battle that we cannot afford to lose. I also applaud Commissioner Bailey of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The outstanding work of this agency has been so important to the success of this operation. Before we hear from General McCollum and Commissioner Bailey, I want to introduce another friend, truly a hero. This man who stands to my left, John Walsh, is an amazing human being and knows personally how important this activity is and how important it is to stop it. Unfortunately, his own son, Adam, was taken and was murdered years ago in our Florida. Because of that personal tragedy, this man, this hero, has turned that difficult situation into a cause of his life, a mission, if you will, to do what's right to protect children, not only in Florida, not only in America, but all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, a great American and a great Floridian, John Walsh.
Thank you all for being here today. This is a historic day. I've been coming to this Capitol for 27 years and worked with many, many governors and legislators and attorney generals, and I feel that the work of 27 years has come to fruition in this historic day. As Governor Crist said, and thank you for the wonderful introduction, Governor Crist. Soon I hope to become Senator Crist. The cooperation between the different agencies in the state of Florida, I think, is unprecedented. From the governor's office starting this cybercrimes unit years ago, which was probably the first and certainly the most proactive cybercrimes unit in the United States, to its evolution today through Attorney General Bill McCollum, who I worked with for 20 years when he was a member of the United States Congress, and I hope our next governor too, Bill, to pick up the mantle and take up where Charlie has left off. And Commissioner Jerry Bailey, he and I have worked worked for years together, and he has done an incredible job of making Florida Department of Law Enforcement's efforts, I think, a nation's leader. This is an example of what different agencies working together can do. The U.S. Marshals being the federal agency, Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Governor's Office working closely with the Attorney General's Office and the Cyber Crimes Unit working with every police department in the state of Florida, sheriffs, local police, to take down the worst of the worst, the people who prey upon our children. As Governor Crist said, 77 arrests. Most of those children that were involved in these cases, whether they were molested or they were in the videos, were under 12 years old. One of the children was 1 year old. 5 of the children, 5 of these small children still haven't been identified, but 5 of them were rescued. I think this is wonderful. 5 small children were rescued because of Operation Orange Tree. National statistics say that 50% of child pornographers are child molesters. And 17 of those guys on that wall right there shared a video on how to have sex with children under 12. 17 of these guys had instructional videos that showed them how to molest children under 12. And those videos talk about the younger the child, the easier it is to get away with it. The harder it is for the child to testify in court. These are the worst of the worst, the hardcore offenders. And this is a national model in my opinion. It has to come from a governor's office. It has to be federal agencies like the Marshals and the FBI. It has to be state law enforcement like Jerry Bailey's department. There has to be a cyber crimes unit in every state like Bill McCollum runs.